It's the 4th of August 1972, and in the heart of Africa, Uganda's military president Idi Amin Dada drops a bombshell decree that reverberates through history. Imagine this: all Indian natives and those of British descent are ordered to pack their bags and leave the country within a mere 90 days. This audacious move isn't just a local headline, it sends shockwaves globally, triggering condemnations from Africa to abroad. But amidst this chaos and international uproar, there is a figure who steps into the spotlight: Ibingira, an enigmatic name that becomes synonymous with intrigue. The Ugandan's ambassador to the UN was tasked to explain the reason why Amin expelled the Indians in such a short time. In this episode of Uganda in History, we are diving deep into the life, rise, and legacy of Ibingira, a man unwittingly caught in the crossfire of one of history's most crippling chapters. The man known as Grace Stewart Ibingira was born on 23rd May 1932 in Ibanda County, Ankole District, now called Ibanda District. His father, Alfred Katabarira, held the position of a Gombola chief, which afforded him the opportunity to attend prestigious schools such as Mbara High School from 1942 to 1950. Following year, he enrolled at King's College, Budo. In 1953, Ibingira achieved a remarkable feat by graduating with a Grade 1 Cambridge School certificate. Buoyed by his academic prowess, he pursued a career in law, and in 1958 he earned his law degree with the Magnum Cum Laude from the University College of Wales. His quest for knowledge didn't stop there. He concluded his studies in 1959 with a year of postgraduate work at the University of London. After this accomplishment, he was called to the bar and listed as a barrister at the Supreme Court of England. Following this remarkable journey, he made the pivotal decision to return home, where he would serve as an advocate at the Uganda High Court, setting the stage for his impactful involvement in the national legal landscape. As the journey towards independence progressed during the 1940s and 1950s, it became evident that the Baganda people, who constituted the largest ethnic group in Uganda, were seeking significant autonomy within the country. The political party associated with the Baganda's king's interests, Kabaka Yeka, strongly advocated for this autonomy. However, this viewpoint was not widely embraced by many other Ugandan tribes, nor by certain educated individuals from the Buganda region. These individuals formed an alternative political party known as the Democratic Party, with the goal of fostering national unity. Despite facing resistance within Buganda, the Democratic Party enjoyed substantial support in the broader Bantu-speaking southern region. But amidst this political landscape, a new force emerged in the form of the Ugandan National Congress. The Ugandan National Congress was established on March 2, 1952, with Ignatius Kangave Musaz as its inaugural president and Abubakar Chama Mayanja as the first Secretary General. Apollo K. Chironde served as the party's legal advisor. The UNC's inception took place at Musaja Lumbwa's house near the Lobiri in Mengo. The party, which rented space at this house in 1951, played a significant role in Uganda's quest for independence from Great Britain on October 9, 1962. The UNC was actively engaged in broader struggles for Africa's independence in Cairo, and John Kali represented the UNC and coordinated efforts for independence across the African nation. Abu Mayanja and John Kali established a UNC office in Cairo to connect with the global contacts and provide assistance to freedom fighters across Africa. Abu Mayanja, the UNC Secretary General, utilized his relationship with Chinese leader Mao Zedong and Zhou Enlai to secure support for African freedom fighters. China even provided £500,000 and a modern printing press for the UNC. This press was installed at the offices of the Ugandan newspapers, the Ugandan Post, and the Ugandan Express. In 1960, a division occurred within the UNC between Musaz's faction and a faction led by Apollo Milton Obote. The Obote-led faction, along with the Uganda's People Union, formed a new political party called the Uganda's People's Congress in March 1960. The Democratic Party and the UPC became prominent political forces in Uganda. A pivotal figure in shaping Uganda's political trajectory was Grace Ibingira. Collaborating alongside Apollo Milton Obote and Abu Mayanja, Ibingira played a co-founding role in establishing the Uganda's People's Congress. While Obote assumed the mantle of party leader, Ibingira took on the position of legal advisor. He garnered significant support from the western regions of Uganda, where Obote was grappling with lack of popularity. Ibingira's influence continued to grow as he secured a seat in the country's legislative council in 1960 through the Ankole District Council. During Uganda's first free national elections in 1961, as anticipated, the political landscape unfolded with the Kabaka Yeka securing majority of the seats in Buganda, while the UPC gained dominance in the northern and eastern regions of the country. However, a significant twist came about when the Democratic Party, under the leadership of Benedicto Chiwanuka, emerged as the largest individual party in Uganda. Chiwanuka's prospects of becoming the inaugural prime minister of the independent Uganda were on the grasp of realization, yet this momentous occasion was thwarted by unexpected alliance formed between the UPC and the Kabaka Yeka, forming the UPC-KY alliance. Notably, while UPC members and traditionalist Baganda were at odds due to the differing ideas that DP's Catholic orientation had, Ibingira took on the responsibility of establishing an alliance with the Kabaka of Buganda, Edward Mutesa. His acquaintance with the Kabaka played a crucial role in facilitating negotiations, and in 1962's general elections, UPC-KY won the national elections. Obote was tasked with forming a government. He went on to appoint Ibingira Minister of Justice. Ibingira's influence extended beyond politics. He even chaired a committee that designed the national flag, suggesting it to be modeled after the West German flag. We shall cover the evolution of the national flag in another video. This period marked a significant chapter in Uganda's history, culminating in its independence on 9th October 1962. Ibingira felt Obote was not educated enough to serve as the Prime Minister of Uganda and believed he had been given the position solely because of his anti-colonial rhetoric. In 1964, Ibingira initiated a struggle to gain control of the UPC with the ultimate goal of deposing Obote from the party presidency. At a party conference in April, he challenged John Kakonge for the Secretary General position of the UPC party. He convinced Obote that Kakonge posed a threat for his leadership of the UPC. With Obote's support, Ibingira ousted Kakonge by just 2 votes. He used this new position to purge the party of a number of leftists and endorsed the abolition of the UPC Youth League. Meanwhile, Mutesa, following the collapse of the UPC-KY alliance after the loss of the Buganda counties in a referendum that saw the return of the counties of Buyaga and Bugangaizi back to the Bunyoro kingdom, Mutesa increasingly feared that the UPC would deny his kingdom its traditional autonomy. He concluded that in order to retain power, he would have to garner influence in national politics. Mutesa then proceeded to instruct Baganda MPs to join the UPC with the ultimate goal of bolstering Ibingira's position and unseating Obote, thus allowing for a reorientation of the UPC-KY alliance that would be more favorably inclined to the Baganda. As his working relationship with Mutesa improved, Ibingira amassed a coalition of non-Bagandan Southerners dubbed the Bantu Group. In December 1964, while Obote made a prolonged trip to the Eastern Europe and China, he, under the cover of checking on his ranch in Ankole, traveled to the United States to raise funds to support his anti-socialist causes. While there, he informed the US government that Obote would be removed from power, and the US government should expect more cordial relationships with the government of Uganda. Upon his return, it is believed that he was given more than $1 million while there. He successfully used the money to expand his following in Uganda. The following year, Ibingira played a key role in passing an amendment to the police ordinance through parliament that allowed the police to disperse any political meeting or assembly. By then, it was apparent that UPC had divided into Ibingira-led wing and Obote-led wing. When Ibingira attempted to convene a UPC conference in his capacity as Party Secretary General, the police, acting under the authority of the new statute, shut it down. In early 1966, a banker linked financial records of Idi Amin, a soldier in the Ugandan army who had close ties with the Prime Minister Obote. The documents implicated Amin in illicit gold trafficking along the Uganda and Democratic Republic of Congo border. The document showed large sums of money being deposited and withdrawn from Amin's bank account. A motion tabled in Parliament by Mityana MP Daudi Ocheng charged Amin with corruption and accused Obote of being complicit in his actions. The UPC resolved to reject it. However, on 4th February, while Obote was away from Kampala, the capital, Ibingira convinced the cabinet to recognize the complaint. When Obote returned 11 days later, he was unable to dissuade his ministers from proceeding with an investigation. The cabinet attempted to convene on 22nd February to appoint a commission of inquiry into the matter. However, Obote had the police interrupt the meeting and place Ibingira and 4 other ministers under arrest on allegations of attempting to overthrow him. They were transferred to Karamoja as per the colonial law that allowed for detention and removal of undesirable persons. Ibingira and the ministers petitioned the courts for a writ of habeas corpus. A Ugandan High Court judge found the detention legal and denied the petition. But the East African Court of Appeal ruled that the relevant law violated a Ugandan citizen's constitutional right to freedom of movement and ordered for a writ of habeas corpus to be granted. Ibingira and his colleagues were immediately rearrested outside the courts in Uganda under the colonial emergency regulations, and the government passed the Deportation Act to cover its actions. Ibingira and the other ministers filed a new suit, but in a hearing, the court affirmed the legality of the new law. On 25th January 1971, while Obote was on a presidential state visit to Singapore, Amin launched a military coup ousting Obote and seizing power. He released Ibingira along with 54 other political prisoners and appointed him ambassador and permanent representative to the United Nations. In one of the bizarre moves, Amin decided to expel the Indians from Uganda, and in his new role, Ibingira was tasked with explaining Amin's position in expelling the Asians from Uganda within a mere 90 days. Ibingira later went into exile when a Tanzanian invasion threatened the Ugandan regime. He attended the Moshi Conference in March 1979, where Ugandan exilees elected Lule to succeed Amin once he was deposed. After Amin was deposed, Lule appointed Ibingira Minister of Information on 7th June 1979. His addition to the cabinet particularly upset the National Consultative Committee. However, on 19th June, Lule removed Ibingira from his cabinet and made him ambassador to the UN. In 1980, Ibingira published a book entitled African Upheavals Since Independence. He continued to contribute his discussions on political matters, but unfortunately, he passed away on 12 December 1995, leaving behind a legacy that spanned a turbulent era in Ugandan's history. If you found this video informative and engaging, don't forget to show your support by giving it a like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow. This has been Regan for Uganda in History, and I look forward to seeing you in another captivating video.